John Cena's heel turn is going to be one of the biggest what ifs. You know, if it were up to me, if you were gonna have John Cena turn heel in 2025, which they did, you should have waited and done that at WrestleMania. I would have done the heel turn at WrestleMania, have him go into WrestleMania as a babyface, with Cody Rhodes as a babyface, and then John Cena at the end. That's when he kicks Cody down low out of desperation, wins 17, wins the title, and he turns heel. That's the way I would have done it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling City. As always, I'm Taylor, and today we're checking out 10 most frustrating decisions WWE have made in 2025 so far. So we are in the month of August, so we are halfway through, or a little more than halfway through the year 2025, and this has been a pretty frustrating year. The John Cena heel turn was frustrating. The lack of booking that they're doing for current certain champions, the EO Skies World Championship reign, Julia's United States Championship reign so far. There's a lot of things to be frustrated about. And let's see what culture, has to say about this. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys for the support and everything. Let's get right into it.
You are allowed to be frustrated with professional wrestling. There is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's fun and you like everything, which is not true. I get frustrated as well. I just don't think we need to melt down on the internet. But of course, we should still talk about it. That's what we're going to do today. So there have been a few things in WWE that have made you scratch your bald head or maybe your full head hair. I don't know what's going on with you. So I, Simon Miller, who am wearing the stupidest shirt ever today, kind of regret it, but it was a gift. So I like to be nice. I'm going to go
I'd wear
through
that
some of
shirt
them today. Are you ready? Of course you're not, but let's go. I'll be honest with you, I don't even agree with some of these. That's the beauty of life. Number 10, not doing much with Io Sky. Now, of course, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley had that awesome match at Evolution 2 Electric Boogaloo, and they were part of that three-way with Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. So in terms of match quality, Io Sky is right up here. She also had that awesome match with Stephanie Vaquer when she got called up. But when it comes to her title reign post-WrestleMania, for a good while, Io did nothing. Like, quite literally, she would just be in backstage segments looking at people, and she didn't even have a feud. It was weird. Essentially, if you want to break it down, she was getting less and less screen time. And once again, let's go back to the quality of her matches. If you want to walk in here right now and say she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, I wouldn't argue with you. And even her promos are badass. It's not really about what you say, it's how you say them. And her intent is always, I'm going to break you in two. Especially after Naomi had cashed in her money in the bank, Io sounded properly pissed off. So I'm excited about the future. I presume
If
that we
I'm
are. I know
Io,
we're doing the
I'm
three-way
pissed
at
off.
SummerSlam, which you've probably seen by the time this video has gone live. But we cannot drop this again. Io Sky is too good. And really, if you were going to give ups and downs for the first half of the year, the poor use of Io Sky's title reign, well, it would be on the negative left, and you never want that. Number 9, some rush and...
Yeah, there were a lot of fans, including myself, that were just dogging Triple H on social media that, you need to book Io Sky. Ever since WrestleMania, after that incredible, incredible match she had with Rhea and Bianca, they just did nothing with her. I don't even, when was it? After that, I don't think she defended her title again until, uh, God, was it Evolution or no? She may have defended it sometime between then, but Evolution is like the only other title defense that I can think of that she had in her title reign after WrestleMania. And I just don't get why Triple H just doesn't want to book these champions. It just makes no sense.
NXT call-ups. So I love the fact that Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and Roxanne Perez were called up to the main roster, because all these guys...
They've been great additions.
Especially Roxanne Perez. Well, all
She's been a great addition.
But Roxanne Perez walked into NXT, or the Performance Center, at 19 years old, and she's only like 22, 23 now. And she's better. That's a savant, man. When it comes to sports entertainment, she's going to do well. And of course, we all know Stephanie Vaquer just has it. When it comes to Julia, well, she's the most unique person on the planet. The issue, however, though, is that while Roxanne Perez kind of had a focus for the Judgment Day, although we needed to lean into that harder, Stephanie Vaquer then did nothing on Raw for a few weeks, and Julia interfered after a Zelina Vega match where she hated Zelina and then turned on her. Then we did nothing for 3 weeks, then she won the US Championship, and then we did nothing with that US title until SummerSlam. And that's just weird. I don't want to be that guy, but it sounds like they were called up without a plan. And of course, one of the big things that new WWE
That's what it
said
sounds
they were
like for
never going to
Julia,
do is
at
fall back
least.
into the old ways, where you do just grab somebody from the third brand and throw them onto Raw or SmackDown. And these are nowhere near as bad as that. Some people got called up and then they vanished from the show. But we can do more, especially when you have people that are this skilled. Once again, go through all their matches. They are great. So yeah, second half of the year, let's do more. Once again, the Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez do have that good tag team, and that's a barrel of laughs. And Stephanie Vaquer will get a title shot at Clash in Paris. And of course, Julia has her belt, so we can keep everything crossed. We're in a much better place now, but at first, this is the big...
Well, hopefully Stephanie Vaquer still gets that title match at Clash in Paris, because we're watching this after we just found out that Naomi is pregnant, so she had to relinquish her title. But as for Roxanne Perez, she's been doing great so far on the main roster. I'm enjoying her role in the Judgment Day. I'm enjoying her role as the Women's Tag Team Champions. They just lost them, but I'm enjoying her role in the Women's Tag Team division with Raquel. And then Julia, I don't know what they're doing with her. They just paired her with Kiana James, and she's the United States champion, but I don't think we've seen her except for once backstage since she's won the United States championship. So can we please put Julia on these shows in a match? Please? Thank you.
Wibbly wobbly. Number 8, some of the strange returns. So when Aleister Black finally returned to WWE, it was absolutely awesome. And what he's doing at the moment with R-Truth and Damian Priest is really good. But let's not forget that WWE's grand plan when he did step through the door was to have a 2-match series with The Miz. I love The Miz, he's still vastly underrated, and he's a Hall of Famer. But the whole
forgot
point is
about
when
all
someone
this,
does
honestly.
come back, you want to give him something big. This just felt a little bit mooted. It was absolutely the same with Rusev too, who is one of my favorite wrestlers of the modern day. But he had that small, kind of bizarre feud with Alpha Academy.
I forgot
They
about
got
this
into a
too.
program with Sheamus, but they had their match.
His
they
feud with
vanished for a
Sheamus
couple
has
of weeks,
been
and they were back
awesome
again, and
so
they had
far.
another match. We weren't allowing them to do promos. We weren't allowing them to do stories. Made me a bit of a sad panda. Sometimes you do need consistency on television. So really, you can kind of line those two guys up, one on Raw, one on SmackDown. It's not like WWE is punishing either of them because they both got the same booking. Maybe they just wanted to ease them back onto Monday and Friday nights, but that seems weird too. And again, I think Black is about to find his feet, but we got to do more with Rusev and Sheamus, man. That first match was absolutely brilliant. We should light a fire under their ass, let them go full hog, not only in the ring, but what they're saying on the microphone too. And I'm confident it is going to be okay. It's also another weird one. It just felt so stripped back. This wrestling, man, go over the top. Number 7, the poorly thought out releases. Now everybody always goes mad when you talk about this topic, but let's remember they are real human beings.
This is a big
I actually
one.
didn't think any of the following wrestlers needed to be released. We'll start with Carlito, because that dude was just comic relief when it came to the Judgment Day, and he was genuinely funny. He was also a dude that could get beaten in the ring, and he didn't seem to care. And listen, I don't know what WWE or TKO's finances are, but I kind of feel like they could have kept Carlito around, and we didn't even let him wrap up his story on television. I thought that was a bit lame. Dakota Kai still totally baffles me because she was so damn good, and she was a constant on television as well. Like, some people say she was injury prone.
This one
but
surprised me
ultimately,
a
all
lot.
wrestlers are injury prone given what they are doing, and I don't think we ever allowed her to truly shine on Raw or SmackDown, so that one just feels absolutely nuts. Whenever she does turn up, she's gonna fly. Of course, the biggest one of all is when they just released R-Truth, and there was such a backlash, and I'm happy to say I contributed to that, or that had anything to do with me. The WWE eventually acquiesced, and they brought Ron Killings back, and so far his, third run in WWE has been absolutely brilliant. But even the other wrestlers turned around like, you fired R-Truth? Are you totally mad? That's why it scares me. If WWE couldn't have figured that one out beforehand, who the flub else is going to be let go? And listen, I do understand that WWE can do whatever the flub they want. They can hire whoever they want, and they can let go whoever they want. But it doesn't mean I have to like it. And again, sometimes it does turn around, like Ron Killings. So they must have realized they made a little bit of a mistake. Number 6, everything they did with the New Day. Now let me get this straight right away.
Yes,
The New Day are one of the best wrestling groups ever, and I mean that too. If I was ever unsure, the heel turn they did in late 2024 justified.
Man, the heel turn was done so perfectly, and I really thought that heel turn that they did on Big E was going to lead to a Big E return to the ring. That's what I thought this whole thing was setting up for. I thought he was going to they were going to turn on him, and I thought he was going to return at the Royal Rumble, set up a match between one of them at WrestleMania, but that obviously didn't happen. And then the New Day just Kofi and Woods just kind of fell off after this. I mean, WWE completely dropped the ball on this heel turn. It lasted for a good month where every time they walked out there, the fans just booed them, wouldn't let them speak. And then now they go out there and they get no reaction whatsoever.
They can quite literally do anything. And then we get here halfway through 2025, and I don't really understand what the plan was at all. Because I kind of thought Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, after they had totally murked Big E, would win those tag team titles and go on a massive run, as they essentially cheated and cheated and cheated to keep hold of their belts, because of course they're now bad guys. But instead, they came, they went, we didn't get a tag team title match until WrestleMania, and then within about 6 to 8 weeks, they lost it again. Now listen, there was a huge upside to that, because them mourning their championship is the funniest thing ever. I don't know. I don't get it, and it kind of felt like when they did lose their titles, Big E should probably come back and distract them or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it was handled very well, and when you go back to that turn, my gosh, I genuinely think it's one of the best ever. I mean, there's a lot of hyperbole here, but I believe it. I suppose this ties into a bigger problem that is the Raw Tag Team division. Like, every single team that is there is super duper whooper good, but there's just no depth. Whereas SmackDown is drowning in duels.
Yes, man, the difference is night and day.
We are going down with that plank. Number 5, Travis Scott. So I don't want to be horrible, and more power to Travis Scott, but after Triple H made some interesting comments during a press conference the other day, it now doesn't feel like he's going to be in a match that apparently was pitched for SummerSlam, because maybe he didn't take his training as seriously as he should have done. And that's his prerogative. He can do whatever he wants. But if you are going to interrupt the main event of WrestleMania 41, there has to be some follow-up. We haven't had any, which actually makes less sense. So, apparently Travis Scott is John Cena's friend, but it only helped him at WrestleMania, screw Money in the Bank, and screw Backlash, and screw all the other events, unless it has a W and an M in it. Travis ain't interested. Travis Scott also took way too long.
A W and an M in
at
it.
WrestleMania 41 in that Cena-Cody match, and I will die on this hill. Before that interruption, or if The Rock had been there, everything that John and Rhodes were doing was totally fine. It was this bizarre interruption that made it through fall the floor.
All right, I'm gonna have to disagree with you here, Simon. Everything before that interruption was fine, dude. That Cena and Cody at WrestleMania is one of the worst main events. I mean, even if you take Travis Scott out of it, it's still one of the worst main events. The match was not good, and then the finish of the match, the low blow was, I didn't like it.
Again, Dwayne Johnson would have saved that, but Dwayne Johnson wasn't there. This is why you always need to be careful when you use a celebrity. Although I will say, it sounds like Jelly Roll took Travis Scott's place. Jelly Roll right now is hitting home runs. So it all worked out in the end. Go Jelly Roll. Number 4, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, at this point, give me Jelly Roll over Travis Scott. I don't want to see Travis Scott anymore. Just give me Jelly Roll, because what Jelly Roll did at SummerSlam was really good. So give me Jelly Roll instead of Travis Scott moving forward, please.
There wins the Rumble. And this one, I actually do disagree with. If you are bringing back somebody like Charlotte Flair, and somebody makes the decision, oh, hi, she should win the Royal Rumble, I totally get it. I understand. She does come across like a big deal, and doing Charlotte versus Tiffany at WrestleMania 41, well, it kind of went off the rails a little bit, but Tiffany Stratton beating Charlotte Flair is only ever going to be good for Tiffany Stratton. That's what WWE did. And obviously, it didn't go to plan because there was this disconnect between the fans and Charlotte Flair, but the planning and the booking and everything else makes sense. I don't mind it. But the fact that I have to throw it out there that I was on the tick block side goes to show that there were people on the minus side, and maybe that is why
I hated Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble,
However,
man.
there is a huge upside, because Charlotte
so
took some
mad.
time off after WrestleMania, and now she's in this loosey-goosey team with Alexa Bliss, which is totally inspired. I don't know who came up with that, but it's really good, mostly because Charlotte and Alexa actually feel like they're having fun.
This right here with Alexa and Charlotte, this is the best thing they could have done for Charlotte. They have finally, Alexa Bliss has finally got me to enjoy Charlotte Flair in WWE. Before this, I just didn't enjoy her because we always knew that when she was on these shows that she was going to be in a world title picture, and that's a lot of the reason why fans don't like her now is because she was getting world title matches over and over and over again, and people just were getting tired of it. And now that she's doing this with Alexa Bliss. She's out of the world title picture. She's a women's tag team champion, and I've been enjoying these two together, and I hope they continue it for a little longer. I hope they don't rush to end this because I'm really enjoying it, and I think they can do a whole lot more with this.
Fun again. That is the secret sauce of wrestling. If you can tell the wrestlers are entertaining themselves, it comes through the screen and hits us in the face. I don't mind it. We wouldn't have got here without her winning the Rumble and doing that WrestleMania stuff. And I like that WrestleMania match as well. That's right, you can get mad in the comments. They basically just have a massive fight. And if I have to watch 2 days of WrestleMania, I don't want all the matches to be the same. I want one that's totally insane. Bingo, bango. I've said it now.
They picked the right winner.
3, the WWE Women's US title.
Oh, gosh,
now, Chelsea Green winning this thing at the end of 2024 was brilliant because who deserved it more than her? But ever since then, I really don't understand what we're doing with it, and sometimes it irks me because I'm a nerd. And I didn't mind Zelina Vega winning it either, but all of a sudden Zelina vanished, when from nowhere without any promos she was in that match with Julia, and Julia then won it, and then there wasn't a feud for Julia either. Why can't we just look over on Raw and go, wow, Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and Bayley, they're doing a great job with the Women's IC Championship, they're really making it feel something. Why don't we do the same for the US one? And we didn't. Now, I actually think that WWE introduced these belts well too fast. We should have held them off to WrestleMania 41 and had a tournament culminate there because it just would have felt like a bigger deal. Instead, we
I like that idea.
And it was the same.
Yeah, they should have done that.
The first 2, they just fell into the Phantom Zone. You don't want to go in there. There's a lot of villains. Now, of course, it did mean Chelsea got her secret Hervis, which is a wonderful gimmick. I don't think it helped Zelina Vega, and I don't think it helped Julia either. That is why I'm confident for the second half of the year. Again, we retcon one of these, we can do another, but we have not lived up to that potential at the moment. And I think the women should have these championships, but you got to book them right. I don't think this one's had a fair run. Number 2.
Yeah, see, I've noticed with WWE, one thing that they do on Raw, they can't do on SmackDown and vice versa. With Raw, they got the Women's Intercontinental Championship. They've been booking that title perfectly. They've put the belt on Becky. They've had it on Lyra. They've had great matches, great feuds for that title. And then the Raw Tag Team division, it's like it's non-existent. But then you go over to SmackDown, the Women's United States Championship, non-existent. But then you look at the SmackDown Tag Team division, it's one of the best things on SmackDown right now. I mean, if SmackDown didn't have that tag team division, I probably wouldn't be watching SmackDown because SmackDown is just very boring right now. So it's like they just can't do I don't get it. I don't get it. It's one thing on one show, and then on the other show, you don't get it. Makes no sense.
251 days. So it's another one that I actually don't agree with either. But Jey Uso won that World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 41 from Gunther. It was an incredible moment. And then 51 days later, on an episode of Monday Night Raw, Gunther won it back. And because Jey Uso had choked him out, he choked Jey Uso out. That's the nature of life. If you strangle someone else, they're going to strangle you. Ultimately, though, as I said at the time, I always thought Jey Uso was going to beat this guy because he could have lost the next night on Raw. And while we would have cared, because we love him so much, we wouldn't have held it against him. We'd still go crazy every time he does do his entrance, and we would do the yeeting, and that's when you know you're properly over, when you can survive kind of crazy booking. But somebody was going to have to be the sacrificial lamb too. And not arguing against the title of this video, which is totally bonkers, but what are we doing anyway? But if Jey Uso had to be the guy to have a shorter title reign, just because everybody else was having longer title reigns, to tell you, the fan, it can happen on random television shows, then he was the right guy to do it with. Because my heart and the way I feel about Jey is exactly the same now. And in fact, I'm actually excited about when he does get around too, because I think he will. I think that one will be even better than this one. Like I say as well, it also lit a fire under Gunther again and told you what you better watch every single program because you don't know what's going to happen. And then what went down in that SummerSlam #1 gauntlet match? Jey Uso was so popular, he got to do his entrance in the middle of a match. It's not like it hurt him either.
It's like he does that every week now.
I understand why Rikishi was upset. That's his son. You should always take everything Rikishi says with a piece of salt.
This camera's shaking.
This is his flesh and blood, dude. He's allowed to be passionate. But I think everything Jey Uso has done in 2025 is brilliant, and it gives me hope for the future. If you can get over, you just never know. Number 1.
Oh, yeah. But before we get into the John Cena heel turn at number 1, which we all knew was going to be, but I think we all knew when Jey Uso won that title, it wasn't going to be very long. I knew it wasn't going to be very long. I didn't think it'd be as short as 51 days. Hell, I was thinking he'd hold it until SummerSlam, but they just had to have Gunther win the title back so he could defend it against Goldberg at that Saturday Night's main event, which I still think that shouldn't have been a world title match. Gunther just should have beaten him, sent him home, and that was it. But Goldberg wanted it to be a world title match, so you gotta. But I don't know if Jey Uso gets another world title shot. Honestly, um, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think we should wait though. If we do, I think we should wait before he gets another one. I mean, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Rollins is the champion right now, and Cody is the champion on SmackDown. So yeah, right now I can't think of a time when he would be able to win the world title back. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
John Cena heel turn. And again, you're going to get me ranting and raving on the other side. I understand I'm the outlier here, though, so essentially I'm speaking, or at least the title is speaking on behalf of you. I think the John Cena heel turn's been brilliant. I'm not saying that it couldn't have been better. I'm not saying there haven't been some weeks you're like, what the flub is going on? But just the fact we've had John Cena as a bad guy, staring off at kids and telling us all the relationship is over, it's toxic. I never thought I would live in a world where I would get that. And also, look at all the other successes. We got John Cena versus Randy Orton when John Cena was the bad guy. We got John Cena versus CM Punk when John Cena is the bad guy. We got John Cena throwing CM Punk through a table and cutting his own pipe bomb on the voice of the voiceless. And we had him kicking a lot of people in the dick. And again, if you had told me back in 2014, John Cena's finishing combo in 2025 is going to be a kick to the penis, followed by a title belt shot. I'd be like, there's no way. There's no way they're going to do that. But we did. I've just enjoyed it. Even if it's just for the novel factor, well, I'm clearly into novelty. I mean, wouldn't you rather have got this version than no version at all? I think so, and it's not like it's affected the product. WWE is as hot now as it ever has been. And yes, look, The Rock should have been involved in this. The Rock should have been at WrestleMania, and The Rock should have been there every single turn. But there ain't no point crying over spilt milk. So when I look at what John Cena has done, I think it ties back to what we said earlier. He just seems to be having the best time, and that allows me to have a good time too. Also, post SummerSlam, he's going back to being a babyface. So the last 6 months will be him being the old John Cena hero, which I also look forward to. I'm going to cross my arms on this one. I'm going to put my foot down. John Cena being the bad guy for the first half of 2025 was the smartest thing WWE could do. I'm now going to leave. I don't want to be yelled at. But before I go, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe.
All right, so yeah, the Cena heel turn. There were a few good things about it, like you said, Randy Orton. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed his stuff with CM Punk, but it was just WrestleMania. WrestleMania, it just left a sour taste in people's mouths. When the heel turn happened, we all had so much high hopes about his heel turn, and then The Rock vanished, and then we only got Travis Scott at WrestleMania, and he ruined that main event. And John Cena's heel turn is going to be one of the biggest what ifs. If it were up to me, if you were gonna have John Cena turn heel in 2025, which they did, you should have waited and done that at WrestleMania. I would have done the heel turn at WrestleMania, have him go into WrestleMania as a babyface, with Cody Rhodes as a babyface, and then John Cena at the end. That's when he kicks Cody down low out of desperation, wins 17, wins the title, and he turns heel. That's the way I would have done it. But those are the 10 most frustrating decisions WWE have made in 2025 so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did. I always enjoy videos from What Culture. Simon Miller is great at this, but yeah, I'll put the original link to the video down below in the description. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Come help us reach 500 subscribers. We would love to hit that goal by Clash of Champions, so we've got about 2 weeks left. But that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.